Welcome everyone to another episode of JDM Racing in F122. It's my team and we're here in Hungary for round 13 of this Season 2 Championship. Q1 is going to be right round the corner. Ferrari with a quick package then in Q1, Leclerc fastest, Michael our teammate in 5th, and we are outside the top 10 in 13th. Lando Norris found some pace in Q2, so the McLaren quickest, and the Ferrari's a bit further down in 8th and 9th, and we are in 3rd. So the JDMs could only find the pace for 5th and 8th, but Leclerc and Norris, who've both been quickest in the previous 2 sessions, on the front row. So Charles Leclerc is in really good form this weekend, looking to try and take back the lead of the Drivers' Championship.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first-time victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the very first time right here. We're northeast of Budapest for today's race at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Gardner and Hamilton, Verstappen, Michael Schumacher, Perez and Daniel Ricciardo, Gasly, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon, Vettel, Ticktum, Joe and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay then, so formation lap, and the Ferraris in 1st and 3rd. It has to be said as well that the gaps between the top 3 were 700ths of a second, I think it was. There was 5 thousandths between Leclerc and Norris, so they've been very, very close on pace. especially in that Q3 session, we couldn't really match them, and I don't think we've got the kind of pace around this circuit that is required to win, and that's been evident because we've not been anywhere near the top of the timesheets the whole weekend. We have sprung surprises before from a bit further down, but there's something about Monaco and Hungary, these sorts of tracks, where it's very difficult to pass. So a podium would be great, but yeah, good clutch of points and keeping in touch with Leclerc is key. We don't get the best start ever then, as Hamilton gets in front of us, but we managed to brake later than him down into turn 1 and managed to get that 5th place back. So now we're just settling in behind Sainz and Russell. Replay of the start. Pole sitter Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari on your right, Lando Norris in the McLaren on your left. And as we see the cars take off from the start line, George Russell weaving across all over the back of Lando Norris, going down into turn 1. Leclerc consolidates the lead, so not a problem for the Ferrari, but there is a lot of action going on behind. And his teammate is under increasing pressure from George Russell. Approaching turn 4 at the top of the hill, we get way deep on the brakes, and both ourselves and George Russell go off the circuit momentarily. So a bit naughty from us there, but not intentional. Just got way too late on the brakes. We keep the position though. And the concertina effect from that down into turn 6 means that Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo gets late on the brakes and loses his front wing end fence. So damage there for the Alfa Romeo.
Check for damage. I hit the Mercedes at the top of the hill. I'm not sure if there's something wrong with the car.
Confirmation that there was damage and there is an issue with Valtteri Bottas's Alfa Romeo as he comes into the pit lane at the end of lap 1 and stops in his box. Yep, the front wing coming off, that right end plate missing off of the old nose, the new one goes on. So Valtteri Bottas will rejoin, but he'll be right at the back of the pack, and it's pretty much a glorified test session for the ex-Mercedes driver at this point.
I don't know why you're asking me if we want to change strategy. If you're telling me there's nothing wrong with the car, then let me just get on with it.
Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari pits from the lead of the race on lap 6, and Lando Norris will continue, as does his teammate Carlos Sainz. A few other people pitting behind. So Leclerc's stop looked pretty routine, nothing wrong with that, and he will rejoin in a pocket of clear air and look to undercut that McLaren.
And it looks like the pit crew are out in the lane and ready to perform their magic on the car. They're going to be aiming to achieve the fastest pit stop time possible.
As we enter our pit box then, we are looking for a good stop. no issues, pretty standard. And we just get out in front of Lewis Hamilton in that Mercedes.
Our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go.
Lando Norris 1 lap later than Leclerc coming into the pits along with the Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz. So this is going to be a key stop for the lead of this race. If McLaren can get a good stop and stay in front of Sainz, which they do, now the only thing is going to be, was his in-lap any good in order to stay in front of Leclerc. As they exit the pit lane. Oh, and Leclerc is right there on the exit, so very, very close, but Leclerc keeps the lead. Norris in second.
Okay, Michael's coming in for his stop now.
And we overtake a bunch of cars in the pit lane, and we can see Carlos Sainz sparking down into turn 1. And another group of cars pit, so we gain another couple of positions, and we get quite deep on the brakes into turn 1. Chasing Sainz down the DRS straight, and we are really looking to get on his heels now.
It looks like rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain.
That's how we roll.
2 laps later on lap 12, down into turn 2, we go wide and then try to cut back for the turn 3, and there's a little bit of a bump there with the Ferrari, so we get away with that. He comes down the outside of us, and again we go extremely aggressive to try and keep that position. Checking the fuel levels and fuel management. Ricciardo pits on a late stop for McLaren, trying to offset, and we go really wide on the exit of turn 1, trying to keep Sainz behind. Really struggling now. A bit further down the field, we've got the sister JDM car of Michael Schumacher fighting tooth and nail with Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri, and they are fighting over the last point for 10th place, 10th and 11th, and the McLaren just in front. So Michael Schumacher down into turn 2, going down the inside of Pierre Gasly. And they're side by side all the way through turn 3, and now coming down the hill, which will then go up to the crest at turn 4. Michael Schumacher makes the move stick, and JDM have both cars in the points now.
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Into the last few corners, and Charles Leclerc, our race leader in the Ferrari, has been pushed all the way by Lando Norris in that McLaren, but Charles Leclerc holds him off to win the Hungarian Grand Prix.
And B1.
Yes! Let's go, come on, yes! Amazing. The car was incredible today, really. Well done, guys. What a race and what a pace.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
It's victory in Budapest then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix.
What a result for Charles Leclerc then, bouncing back from a couple of really poor results in Austria and France. He bounces back with his 6th race win of the season and is keeping the gap at the top of the championship as well, extending over ourselves. So Ferrari have got their act together, and we're unlucky not to get a double podium with Sainz as well, because he looked fast today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Lando Norris will be ecstatic with that drive. That's his 5th podium of the year and his best result. He equals the result that he got in Silverstone, so another 2nd place for McLaren. They are really putting together a decent package as the season unfolds. We have to settle for 3rd today. We weren't quick enough to keep up with the top guys, but we did crucially finish in front of the other Ferrari, so that helps us in the Constructors' Championship as well. Let's break down the results then. Charles Leclerc, with his 6th win of the season, as we said, gets his just desserts and 25 points at the top. Lando Norris 2nd, another amazing drive from him. We get 3rd and the extra point for the fastest lap, only by a smidgen from Lando Norris though. Sainz couldn't keep us behind, but he was only 2/10 off us at the end. Verstappen 5th, Hamilton 6th, quite lowly by their standards. Mercedes will have to take solace in the double points finish. Daniel Ricciardo, that late strategy did okay for them, but he could never match his teammates' pace. And Michael with the final point. Charles Leclerc with that stellar drive takes over at the top of the championship then. Lewis Hamilton 3rd in the championship, and actually joint 3rd in the championship with Max Verstappen. Ferrari extend over Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship as well, and we are only 5 points behind Red Bull now. So that about concludes the Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed this video, and join us next time where we'll be going to Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most amazing F1 circuits that you'll ever see. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.